unblemished record. He has a long-term partner who is pregnant. I am satisfied, therefore, that the balance of aggravating and mitigating factors does not warrant an increase in the starting point, and accordingly the sentence that I pass is 3 years. I am conscious that the defendant makes his living as a driver, but I am obliged to impose a period of disqualification upon conviction for this offence, and do so for a period of 6 years. The defendant will stand. Christopher Green, I sentence you to 3 years' imprisonment. In addition, you will be disqualified from driving for 6 years. I further order that the disqualification shall continue until you pass an extended driving test and the confiscation of your driving licence. Take him down. The Honourable Mr. Justice Barlow, 15th of October, 2002. Chapter 1. "Let's go fishing, you said." She glanced down at her trainers, saturated in the long wet grass, the damp creeping up the legs of her jeans. "It'll be fun, you said." "It is fun. I should have listened to my sister. She always said you were a dipstick." "Thanks. I thought we'd be fishing for carp, not crap." She chuckled at her own joke, watching the rain dripping off her golf umbrella onto a pile of rusted metal lying on the riverbank at her feet, like some sort of pagan offering. "It's bloody freezing, too." A shudder. "We're supposed to be curled up in a tent with a stove and a few beers, snuggled up all warm like in a sleeping bag, you know." "That's boring," he replied, dragging the large magnet up the bank, a small coil of rusted barbed wire, his catch this time, trailing a clump of rotting weed behind it. "You never know what you're going to get with this. I've had guns, knives, all sorts of stuff. When you're fishing, you just catch fish. Big deal." He ripped the barbed wire free and dropped it on the pile, before swinging the magnet on the end of the blue nylon rope and lobbing it across the river. It landed with a splosh just short of the far bank. Then he started pulling on the rope, dragging it slowly across the riverbed. "You wouldn't get carp here anyway, not in winter, and not when the level's up like this," he said, clearly hoping fishing rusting metal junk out of the river might be some sort of consolation. It wasn't. "A mate of mine found a hand grenade once." That wasn't either. "Can we go now?" she demanded, with a stomp of her foot. "We'll just go down to that bush. That's about as far as anyone could throw anything off the bridge." "Really?" "Allowing for the current to carry it down a bit," he replied, with a shrug to soften the blow, although he was still pulling the rope hand over hand, so it was difficult to tell. North Curry was less than a mile away across the levels, but she couldn't make it out through the mist and rain. Even the green fields looked grey. Gave her the creeps at the best of times, the bloody levels in winter. Miles and miles of farmland, spooky-looking ditches and fast-flowing rivers, not to mention that serial killer on the loose. "They did catch that bloke with the scythe, didn't they?" "Yeah, stop worrying." He was swinging the magnet on the end of the rope. "One more here, and then we'll move down a bit. Can you carry that stuff?" "No, I bloody well can't." "Don't worry, I'll pick it up on the way back." She turned and started to scramble up the bank, her feet sliding on the wet mud. She put her hand down to steady herself and flinched. The stinging nettles were dying back in the winter frosts, but were clearly not dead yet. "Shit!" she grumbled, rubbing the palm of her hand on her jeans. "Do you want my gloves?" "No." "Just wait there and I'll pull you up," he said, scrambling past her, the magnet already lobbed up onto the top of the bank. "Here," he reached down. "Give me the brolly." She resisted the temptation to throw it at him, javelin style, but soon wished she had when she lost her footing and ended up kneeling in the mud. "Look at my effing trousers!" "Sorry." "I can feel water trickling down the back of my neck as well now," she said, snatching the umbrella back. "I'm just going to try off the end of that slipway, then we'll call it a day. 10 minutes. A thick layer of grey slime coated the concrete slip that disappeared into the water at the bottom of the bank. It was a popular spot, judging by the footprints in the mud down to the water's edge. "Looks like someone's beaten you to it," she said. "Can't we go?" "That's just fishermen," he replied. "They'll be after the pike this time of year." She watched him picking his way down the slipway, his feet sliding on the mud. Then came the splosh of the magnet landing in the water on the far side of the river. "Come on, it'll be dark soon." Just a couple more throws.